Hi there and welcome to another episode of Building Australia. In today's episode, we're going to visit a traditional construction company in Japan. As some of you may know about me, many years ago I lived in Japan and worked as a carpenter, and since then I've had a bit of a fascination for all things construction in Japan. So on our recent trip to Japan, I made arrangements to meet with a traditional builder on the east coast of Japan who specialise in Zairai construction, which is traditional Japanese construction. It's a bit of a long video, so I hope you can make it to the end. And an early thank you to our friends at Sawano Construction in Japan, and also our trusted suppliers here in Melbourne, Bowens, for helping us bring this video together. Thanks, and I hope you can make it to the end. We've just driven the last 200 kilometres almost entirely in tunnels. I can't believe it. To bring you this episode of Building Australia. Only today it should be called Building Japan. We've travelled right across Japan, east actually I should say, to Ishikawa to meet with tomorrow the people at Sawano Kaisha, which is a traditional building company in Japan. They do what is known as Zairai construction, which for us looks a lot like joinery sort of technique, very ancient methodology, ancient technique, beautiful stuff, more like, you know, building furniture. So we're going to meet with them tomorrow and have a look at their factory where they produce these timber frames. If we're lucky, we're going to go out on site and see some of these homes that they're building. So stick around and join us tomorrow. We've arrived at the Sawano factory where they make all their timber products. And it is incredible to see that they are literally buying in their own logs. So starting from raw logs, they're machining all their own timber for timber framing, flooring, all the joinery details, all the cabinetry, the doors, the door jambs, everything starts here. It's quite incredible to see the transformation from the raw material into timber products into what is a finely crafted home. Is the Sawano sawmill, and this gentleman here is also part of the Sawano family, the head machinist. Yoroshiku. And so what we're seeing here is the logs literally, after 2 or 3 years have been cut down, they've dried out naturally, no kiln drying, machined up here into the various sizes to make the houses that the Sawano family make. And so this gentleman here is basically hand selecting each piece depending on how it looks. So if it's a good looking handsome beam, it'll remain as a decorative beam. If it's suitable to make various sizes of lintels, he will view each log and decide what that log is going to become. If they're not so pretty, they have a lot of knots or maybe some cracking, they'll turn those into studs, which is still used up in the house frame. And then all the little bits of scantling, all the little bits of leftover material from the outer edges of the log here, which isn't suitable for a house, that is shipped off down the road and turned into chips for the local dairy and beef industry, or it's also used to make firelighters as well. So in this factory, nothing is wasted. Mottanai desu. Arigatou. Right now we're driving through fields of rice, which is what Ishikawa is famous for and once made Ishikawa one of the richest areas in Japan. We're now at the Sawano factory where the carpenters will make the timber frames. They'll prepare all the joins, cut all the main beams and studs to length, load them onto a truck and take them out to the job site. This building is the original location of the Sawano family's home when they started 140 years ago. So it's a very special place, just full of timber, full of history, quite amazing to be here. So we worked out what goes into a home here, and one of the things that's amazed me is it's only about 6 months to build one of these homes. Although it's a fairly small home by our standards, the amount of detail and material and quality that goes into it for a double-story sort of 4-bedroom home, 6 months is amazing. And when you consider the quality that you get as well, it's just staggering. The other factor here is the cost. So in Japan, they talk in tsubos. A tsubo is equivalent to 2 tatami mats, and it's their equivalent of a building square. So one tsubo is worked out about 3.6 square meters. And for a house from the Sawano company, it works out to be around $15,000 Australian per tsubo, which is only $4,200 per square meter for a home of this quality with this much history and thought and care and pride gone into a home for $4,200 per square meter is, for me, quite staggering since I've seen all the detail and care that's gone into these homes. So I have to say once again that the Japanese are outstanding at delivering a fine product at a great price. So well done to the Sawano family, and I want to thank them very much for showing us around. こんにちは。おはようございます。お願いします。So you can see these beams here are all going to be exposed. A lot of care, a lot of, attention to detail into all these joins, which are going to be highly visible when the house is finished. And I noticed, Jack, a lot of these posts have already been sort of pre-split because they split naturally here anyway. So what's behind this sort of pre-splitting?
You don't put this line
Yeah,
at many
cracks.
to everywhere.
Yeah,
So from the ancient age,
yeah,
we put one line
Yeah.
to one side
yeah.
and to
Protect the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also know where it's going to crack, where it's going to dry, and how that's going to affect the building. So the other question is it true that when Japanese carpenters build the frame, they make the timber grow the same direction in the frame as it did when it was a tree, with the canopy up here? This is a story I've heard that when they install any piece of timber, it's the same direction it was when it was a tree.
Yeah, if we use this way,
Yeah,
we're gonna yell. What are you doing? We have
Yeah.
to first
Yeah.
when we being a carpenter as Zailai,
yeah.
we have to know
Which way is up?
Which
Yeah.
way is the we see this and
Yeah.
which way.
Which-
Also for the horizontal thing,
Yeah,
you see there's a joint, but
Yeah.
joint, right?
yeah,
And we believe if we join root and root, it will be disaster.
So you have to join the head of the tree with the root
Roots.
of the next one.
Or head is okay.
Yeah.
But the root
So the root.
is a disaster.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit spiritual.
Psychological, spiritual, not scientific. But having said that, it's been working really well for 2,000 years,
Yeah.
maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
So if it works, keep doing that. I mean, one of the things that really strikes any foreign carpenter when you come into a site like this is what we're looking at as Western carpenters is furniture building, craftsmanship, like joinery, not just timber framing. Now I think that's why, you hope that this style of building will get passed on from generation to generation, and it's actually already doing that. Much like, and this is one of the things I still love, there's a lot of technology on this building site, a lot of modern power tools that we haven't seen in Australia yet, but things like this, they're still very much alive and needed on a building site. I really love that about it, So the other thing I thought was interesting is these are the panels that will be the floor. This to me looks like a furniture panel, like a tabletop or something like that. This is just going to be the substrate floor. This is going to get covered up again. The reason for using this solid timber is to, again, move away from plywood products. Plywood, very practical, very cheap, but full of glue, full of VOC. So the Sawano company have decided, no, we're just not using it. We don't want to use it anywhere. So this is the only thing we offer. Yes, it costs more, but it's all about the health and the life of the building, its occupants and the environment. So pretty firm decision they've made to stick with timber everywhere. Brilliant, I love it. So the wall bats are glass fiber.
Glass fiber.
Yeah.
And it depends on the customer.
Yeah.
Installation depends on the customer.
Yeah.
Glass fiber and then cellulose.
Cellulose like on the vertical, so the horizontal surfaces.
セルロースってでも水平の場所だけじゃなくて壁の中もやりますよね。
セルロースは基本は壁の中と天井で、
はいはい、
で床はうちはジュピっていうウレタン系の硬質の
なるほど。
をメダカに入れて。
For the flat, they use like a ウレタン、it's like a styrofoam.
Yeah, like XPS. Yeah. So walls, we're going to have similar, style of insulation as a Western home, but probably thicker. This looks like it's probably about 120 mil, so equivalent. 120 mil. What did I guess? Yeah, so 120 mil of what we would call rock wool insulation. So instantly, this is going to be R3, R4. So this style of installation with this fin that goes on the outside of the frame is only just now becoming available in Australia. We're going to use this method at our next job for the first time, because for everyone installing it, it's quick, it's waterproof, it's just a continuous installation detail that really any carpenter can do. And then once you tape over that, straight away you've got a waterproof and airtight building. Everything else about these windows is similar to what we're using in Australia, but I feel like there's generations of detail and thought that have gone into these windows. So in terms of stabilising these buildings, although the joins are extremely strong, we still have earthquakes to consider in Japan. One of the things that always impressed me in every home is the level of detail in the hardware. Kanemono in Japan is an important aspect of any building, and not just that, they're beautiful. It's a functional piece of hardware, but it's also a little bit of a work of art. This guy here is a tie down to this main corner stud, and you can see again down here, this is going to get tied down to the same corner stud below, and then below that again, that gets tied right down into the concrete slab. And likewise, up here you can see we have these little corner ties which are giving this lateral strength to the frame. Little tie downs here for uplift, for wind shear, and then again you can only see one fraction of it here. These look like they're sort of 16 mil bolts coming through to tie all these beams together from this side. So quite a thorough and thoughtful detailing when it comes to stiffening up these frames. So there is still the traditional joinery technique going on here. That hasn't changed. That's the same join that they might have been doing 2,000 years ago. We just apply a little bit of modern technology to this as well. りがとうございます。頑張ってね。はい。So we've arrived at the Sawano display home, and so far it's a pretty exciting entrance. Lots of timber, lots of natural materials. Let's go and have a look. These tatami mats are not the normal size either, are they?
ああ、
These
ノーマル
are-
サイズはね、こ
Tatami squares, aren't they?
う琉球畳っていう感じですか？琉球畳ですか？ヘリなしで。ノーマル畳 is you know
Rectangle.
1 by 2 no?
Yeah, so the 910 by 1820.
1820 yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. But this is we call Okinawa tatami.
yeah,
It's a half size,
yeah.
and also there's no
There's no
line, you know.
Yeah. From Okinawa, or is this?
We call 琉球沖縄畳 yeah. It's
Yeah.
琉球畳 we call.
Yeah.
I don't know that why we call, but we call 琉球畳.
これちょい普段ありますね。僕らもちょっと初めて、普段は床下エアコンやらないです。ちょっとまあやってみようっていう感じでやったんですけど。
で基礎の中も家の中みたいな。
そうですそうですそうです。
ああ、私んちもそうやって作ってみたんですよ。なるほど。
So from the kitchen, you can walk right through. So this is the space for the
かっこいい。
laundry, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, laundry.
Yeah.
Normally you put the washing machine here.
Yeah, and some hanging space there.
Yeah.
Some little drying rails. Wow. And this is one thing I always like about Japanese bathrooms. In here is just the basin. Maybe some towels and stuff like that. But in the bathroom, it's just a bathroom. It's just one big wet room. Morning, we've arrived at the Sawano model house, their showroom house. This house is 5 years old now. Eventually it'll be sold to a customer, but it's where they're able to show people what's unique and special about this 142-year-old 5th generation family building company. So one of the big focuses is a healthy home, and one of the ways to do that is they've trialing this method of conditioning the subfloor space. So it's something we talk about in Passive House quite a lot. This unit here is just drying out, ventilating the entire subfloor of the house. this cool air eventually makes its way back up these little vents in the floor. And the whole effect of this is conditioning the entire body of the house, whilst also protecting this from any moisture. One of the other focuses that they've been looking at in Sawano House is how to eliminate VOCs. So one method is this detail with the flooring under the structural floor. On top of their structural floor, they have this layer of gyprock and their flooring on top. Nothing is bonded with any glue, so there's no VOCs whatsoever. Any harmful gases during the construction and during the life of the home is absorbed in this gyprock. So eventually, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years down the track, when this flooring gets replaced after normal wear and tear, they'll throw out this gyprock, apply a new layer, apply a new flooring, and in the meantime, that's been soaking up continuously all the nasty gases that are potentially inside a home. Really amazing technique. The other thing they show customers is the effect of these materials over time. So in this little jar here, you can see this is a natural timber product, and you can see the color of the water. It's slightly muddy. That's just the natural tannins coming out of the timber. The alternative product, which is pretty common, is the plywood product. And you can see here that that black goo is all the VOCs that have been coming out of this plywood for a couple of years now. So just a great way to be able to show clients, going back to natural materials is really going to make it for an extremely healthy home. I think this is groundbreaking. So they've got here a few alternatives for the timber framing. This is more of a traditional style of construction in Japan, what we might call like a posted beam construction. This is a glulam beam. We see a lot of this, but I imagine that the guys in Sawano probably don't want to encourage this so much because of all these layers of glue. Hence the reason to go back to the natural timbers, which in Japan are available in abundance too. So they also make for their customers their furniture. So all the timber from the same area is used to build their home, is also used to build their furniture as well. So you get that consistent style, that consistent theme in the home, whilst also having that continual focus on the health inside the home as well. It's really a beautiful product. Let's have a look upstairs.
すごいですね。原作建具でちゃんとこうなんかソフトクローズがついてなかなかないですよね。はいはいはい。なるほど。はいはいはいはい。うん。はい。なるほど。
When it comes to doors, obviously this is something we're all pretty familiar with in Australia. Hollow core, MDF, some sort of veneer on there, which is entry level, maybe $100. Step up from that, you get some more timber, plywood, which has its issues with VOCs. But for the guys at Sawano, this is the only option. They just tell their customers, this is the only door we supply. They make this door, so it's no trouble for them to make it. This door in Australian dollars is about $1,000, which is a lot of money for one door. But when you think about it, this one door is here for the life of the building, and ideally the life of 3 or 4 generations of the same family. So a really holistic approach to making a product that is consistent with the whole home and is really focused on making this last to the next generation, at least, if not second, third, fourth generations, like their family business is now. What is this 壁のマテリアルは何ですか？
ウォーロ
ウォーロ。
ー、This is ウォーローですね。
うん
漆喰と、筆石と珪藻土をオリジナルブレンドしている塗り壁になります。左官壁ですね。
And this is local. 石川から。
石川、そうです。石川県の商材です。はい。
It's an original mix from the shikui. It's a shikui is from seaweed.
Yeah.
And also soil.
Some white clay.
Yeah. And
behind that?
この後ろは下地はないんですか？
下地はボードです。
プラスターボード。
ジンボード。
プラスターボード。
わかりました。
さっきのハイクリーンボードですね。
うん。あ、the high clean board, it says they suck the
VOCs.
VOC.
And also any moisture can pass through it. It doesn't get trapped there like it might on paint.
あ、そう、ね、水分もこう吸ってくれるってことですよね。
そうです。で、ハイクリーンボードにしてる理由は、で、この上を呼吸できる商材にしてるんですね。
はいはい。
なんでさっき言った例えば後から買ってきた家具とかが、TVCO が出た時に、壁の呼吸によってその中のハイクリーンボードの機能を発揮させるようにしています。なるほど。水分というよりもどっちかっていうとフォルマールデヒドを吸着分解してほしいっていう思いで壁を使っています。
Well, they want to suck the VOC. That's why they use this board, this special plaster board, and they also put this, material to go through,
Yeah, so it doesn't hit that layer and stop and just start to create condensation.
Yeah.
うちらはこのビニールクロスを貼らないんです。
They don't use.
There's no plywood. Yeah, because again you have the VOCs.
貼っちゃうとハイクリーンボードの機能が発揮できない。
なるほど。
止めちゃうんで、あくまで仕上げは呼吸できるものにして。
Normal Japanese house they use vinyl cloth,
Yeah.
But if you put this vinyl cloth on this high clean plasterboard, they cannot, take the VOC,
Yeah, and it doesn't breathe either. So the other thing which I think is really quite neat is every door has an adjustable hinge. We use this on cabinets, but we don't use it on regular house doors, and it doesn't matter where you build.
調整ヒンジが使ってあるのが非常になんか印象的だっつって。
そうです。ムク板は動くんで反ったり、いろいろ歪んだりするんで、調整ヒンジでしてます。
It's totally, natural. It's not plywood, so easy to move. So they use.
And you have the effect of earthquakes. Often, so maybe you need some adjustment.
地震のこともありますか、この調整ヒンジは。
地震は関係ない。
地震は違う。
どっちかっていうと木の動きですね。
For the move of wood, they use this to.
Beautiful. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Even the plumber is something of an artist.
Yeah.
That is the most beautiful plumbing I've ever seen. So looking at the windows in this house, they're all now PVC double glazed with what looks like, I'm not sure, but looks like a insulated spacer as well, with a little bit like some of the passive house windows. It's got a double seal, so this internal seal, another seal on the sash itself. That's amazing. When you open this window, it's like opening an oven door. Like it's 34 degrees outside. There's a lot of concrete. There's a lot of heat out there. Yet in here, it's just pure comfort. It's absolute joy to be in this house. Sawanoさん、
いえいえ。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございました。
本当によろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。
We will meet again. Wow, that was an epic. Thanks for seeing it to the end. If you have any questions about the Sawano Construction Company, please leave them in the comments. I've also attached a link to their website in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for another episode of Building Australia very soon.